Live. Welcome, 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 everybody. Let's give everyone a chance to get into the room. Share, share, share.
Monica girl.
Hey, you look cute, Mom. I'm trying to see, share. Do you see it on your end? All right, all right, all right. Well, it's that time, everybody. We are here to celebrate the kickoff for Beauty Shop in the Throne Room. I am super, super excited for this occasion because y'all dudes, the men, my brother Ned, y'all been having all y'all time trying to get yourselves all the way together. Y'all been under construction for some time. Now it's time for us ladies to step into the beauty shop and have a real conversation, a real sit down about what we believe beauty is and what the importance of the beauty shop is all about. My name is Monica Jackson. I am your host, and joining me as co-host for the beauty shop, this is their baby too. You guys all know mommy. She's right next to me. Minister Debra Ively Chandler. She is back in the building sharing all the wisdom. And new to the show, I am so happy. I've been trying to work this thing for a long time. She is my other mother. She's my spiritual mother. She is thebomb.com, right? So I love her spirit.
Boss
I can't
lady.
wait. Yeah, she is the boss lady. Okay, all up and down Fort Myers, Florida. If you don't know, you're gonna know today. Pastor, co-pastor Marjorie Ford. She is in the building from Push to Inspire Inc. And so we are so fortunate and so glad to be able to have her with us today. Hello, and a great big shout out to our audience. So those of you who are joining us who are new to the show, we want you to know that we want to hear from you. Y'all are important to us. And so hello
The
and
reason
greetings,
why we're
sister.
here.
Yes, y'all are the reasons why we're here. So I'm going to just start this off by saying, you know that this is the space that we have created for us to be able to purge from our issues, all of our stuff, all the mess, the hot messness we got, to be able to heal from our wounds and to be able to
Right.
find rest. Okay, because some of us be tired so that we can transform into that which we have been called and created
Yes.
to become. And
Yes.
y'all all know what that is. What is that? Help me out, y'all.
Royalty.
Royalty.
That's
Yes.
right,
So we are
woman.
excited today to kick
Right.
this off. Pastor Marjorie, I'm going to start with you. How you feeling today?
Fantastic.
You feeling
Feeling
fantastic?
great. I'm excited about today, what's going on, and another step in the direction God is calling me to. So thank
That's
you.
right.
Thank you.
That's right. Mom, how you feeling today? That's how you
It's a
feeling.
long time coming, right? We're here.
Well,
We're
like,
here.
We've been working on
We're
this a
here.
long time, y'all. A
And
long
seeing what God is
time.
doing, right?
you
Just waiting
will
to see what
never
He's
know
going
it.
to do.
Yeah. So as we get started and we start having this conversation about beauty shop, I guess I just want to start this off by saying, what did beauty shop mean to y'all? What did it look like for you? And was there any significance to the beauty shop? And for our listeners, feel free to chime in and put in to the chat box. You know, we always give y'all a shout out. Tell us what beauty shop meant to you. What did it represent to you growing up? Whoever want to go first? Pastor Marjorie, you want to talk about what beauty shop meant to you and what it looked like?
Well, um, it beauty shop. It was a place where it was like a transformation place. To
Mm,
get you, I know I'm getting my hair done. I'm gonna look good. I'm look better than I did before I went in there, and stuff. So and coming up, that's how I seen it. A place to be beautified on the outside. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Make me look better than I did. Yeah. We did it.
Yeah.
My mom used to send us beauty shopper every year during Easter time because we had to get our hair done. We had to look good. We had to look nice. So the beauty parlor was one of the places that was a must for us during
Yeah.
special times. Yeah.
Yeah.
A privilege to go to, right? I mean,
Yes,
it was
ma'am.
like, because everybody didn't have the opportunity. It's the place you wanted to be able to go.
Right.
And originally for me, I was, I would hear about people going to the beauty shop. My mother would go to the beauty shop,
Yeah.
and I would always want to go to the beauty shop. I want to go. I see her come back and get her hair done. And sometimes we used to go and watch her sit in the chair and see
Yes.
what the ladies gather together. And so
Yes.
it was exciting. And I remember when I was first, my mother said, you're going to be able to go. What? We're going to get to go? My older sister and I, and we went, and all we could do is look through the books and how we going to look. And this is what I want to look like. This is what I want. I want this
Yes.
hairdo. I want that. Then it was the thing to do. It was the thing to do. And at
Yeah.
first we looked up to the people who could go because it was a
Right.
privileged place because
Right.
everybody couldn't afford it.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody couldn't
For
afford
me, it was it was a place where it was special, right? It was a moment whereby I got a chance to feel grown up in a certain type of way. But I was also talking to mommy last night about the fact that it was one of those moments where I say it's the prodigal son or the prodigal daughter moment, right?
Uh-huh.
Whereby I might have the lifestyle that I was living at a certain point in time, I would find myself all over the place. But when I came back home, one of the things that my mom used to do for me as a way for me to be able to feel like myself or see myself in a different space or spotlight was she used to take me to go get my hair done. She used
Hmm.
to take me to go and, beautify myself so that I would feel and see myself back to the place upon which I might have left or lost or didn't get an opportunity to really value in the way
Right.
that I should have, right?
Right.
And so I acknowledge the beauty shop as the space whereby I got to connect with older women who saw
Absolutely. Yes.
themselves in a different light and who had gained a sort of wisdom that isn't often acknowledged, right? Like we don't acknowledge that the beauty shop may be that space whereby we gain wisdom and insight. It's oftentimes used as that space or put out there for the society, for the world to see as the gossip hole or the space where, you going to learn how to be this, raunchy woman, right? So these are
Right.
different things that we all have heard about the beauty shop. Yes, okay, but
it's
we're going to talk
transform.
real
But you know
today.
what, Pastor Marjorie, you said it. You said the word, the place of transformation.
Yes.
The place of
Yeah.
transformation. And that's what Monica was talking about. The thing for me when she was saying I would take her there because out of all the situations and it was like, okay, I want you to see yourself differently. So
Right.
we go there so that we could get an opportunity to have the person that we wanted to be. That's
Hmm.
why I said we brought those
Mhm.
Yeah.
pictures in. What do you
Yeah.
want? And then the beauticians would always say, I'm a beautician, not a magician. I can't make you look like that. And that's what people always did, right?
Right.
The thing that
Right.
we dreamed of, the thing that we admired, I want to look like that. And we get these pictures and we spend the time to transform ourselves into
Yeah.
that thing that we thought we should be.
Yeah.
Even when you was talking, I was thinking about, even when my mom used to send us, and we went like every, special occasion. So I knew what was gonna happen every time I went there. And then sometimes,
Mm.
it was kind of rough because back then I ain't have no perms and things.
Yeah.
I had natural hair, so they had those straightening
Net.
combs, and they got those
Yes.
back, and then like they burn your hair. It could be like the the whole time. And when she was straightening my hair, but at the end result, I came out on top. I had a little scotch, a little burn, but it didn't matter because why? Because I was cute.
That was
Because
good.
you made me think about all that
Yeah,
fried hair.
right,
The
right.
smell. Oh my goodness, smell like burnt bacon. Okay, I
Burning,
ate that.
burning
At it.
ourselves. You know what? I
Yeah,
remember too, because there was another thing about the beauty shop. Because it wasn't a place that everybody could readily afford to, we had a lot of kitchen beauticians.
Mm.
And so there was the
oh
woman
mother.
in the neighborhood who
Mm-hmm.
was known to do hair. You may not have been able to afford to go to the other
Yeah.
place. So we go, everybody would go to her house. My mother was
Yes,
one of those
Hmm.
people.
Come
And we
on,
would
Mary
yes,
have these
Ivory.
little special
Yes.
occasions. And she would have that straightening comb and put it on the
yes,
fire and heat
yes,
it up
ma'am.
and fry that hair. Shh. I can hear
Hmm.
the things that we
Yeah,
went through. But not like
right.
you said, we didn't care about the burns on the neck. We wanted the results.
Amen.
Right.
It
Yes,
wasn't going to
Right.
easily come. And even when we talk about perms, they're not easy to come by either. I mean, you had to sit under there first, eventually get your scalp all burn up.
Yep.
All the things that we
oh,
went through to get that
right,
end result. And sometimes it
right.
didn't last long.
This is
Come on
true.
now.
I love the fact that we can remember and we have an opportunity to step back and remember the times, right?
Right,
But there still is what we consider a beauty shop, however we might want to call it, right?
right, right.
However, it shows up a lot differently. And as times
Yeah,
have gone on and progressed, the beauty shop isn't the same as it was before and in the past. In fact, I don't know a lot of people who actually want to go to the beauty shop now, right? They talk about we going to the braiding salons, we're going to different other spaces, or
yeah,
my cousin they doing my hair, or I learned how to do my
Getting back
own
to the
hair.
day, going back to the
right,
day.
Mm-hmm.
right.
We're doing our own hair, and so because we doing our own hair, we cutting corners, thinking that we got it all together. But when we go to the person who really know what they doing, and they lift up that mop, that stuff that we put on top, they get to see
Right.
all the mess that's
Yeah.
underneath it. And so I think that this is a good opportunity for us to talk about why is this so important for us to bring back to the forefront beauty shop. Why is it that this whole idea about beauty shop and coming together and launching and kicking beauty shop off, what was it that really got you thinking, this is something that I want to be a part of and I should be a part of?
Mother.
Come on,
Well,
Ma.
one of the things for me is when I think about what has been lost, because I
Mm,
do go back, and I wasn't originally thinking about this, about how we weren't privileged to be able to go to the beauty shop,
right,
and
Right.
how the mothers, the older people who with the expertise became the center of the place for people to go to. Could you do my daughter's hair? Could you do, come
mm-hmm,
do my hair, wash my hair? We would have to do it for each other. And then it became a matter of things became commercialized over
Right.
time. And it changed because we went there at first. It was a good place to go. The mothers were there, and then we
Yeah.
would be able to have the sharing, not just about our hair, but other cosmetics and nails, all different kind of things were going on there. It became a meeting place, much like the
Hmm.
church.
mm,
Right.
You
yeah,
were going to connect with the women at certain day, and it became so busy and so commercialized, and people found you could make money off of it. Really get
Hmm.
some money in our pockets. Before we were doing things to help each other out. Then it became
right,
where I can make a lot of money off of this. And so I
Yes.
booth rent and space and people coming in, and then the prices started going up. And then you got lists. I charge my friend one thing and you another thing. It got to the point for me personally, I didn't want to go anymore. I didn't
Hmm.
want to go because
right,
the wait. I'd have an appointment supposedly at 10 o'clock, and I'm in there till 3. And I
Right.
come
was like, I
on,
can't stand this sitting in here all of this time for, like I said, for a hairdo that a lot of times by the time I was out of there 2 days later and I
they
went
be
to
done
sleep, I
sweat
didn't
it
get my
out.
do-rag on right, right? It was sweated out, and I spent all this money. And so we had to I rethought that thing. But then there was a thing that lost. I saw it transmit because I used to go all over trying to find the best beauty shop. I go to the
Mm,
city. I want to go somewhere, and I in hair was really connected with hair shows. There were
Hmm.
product lines that would do hair shows, and I became like a hair model. just to do
Mhm.
my hair and have
Mm-hmm.
them show off my hair. The guy from New York and this one from Philly and this one from California. They would have it at the Javits Center in New York and different places where you could go and participate and selling these hair products. It became, the market became outrageous and so
Mm.
commercialized everything till it was hard to find people who really knew what they were doing. So I could
Right.
burn my own hair out. I made my
Yeah.
own
Right.
hair fall out and charge and get
Mm.
and wait and spend all my time there. And then what happened in the inside? That's what you were talking about, Monica. Because over time it was a meeting place. It became like the club.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you didn't even want to be in there, you know. And I look, think about this one. They got these people too rowdy in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to be in there with that crowd at that group at that time. And they started designating time for scheduling appointments. A lot of things changed.
No
And so when we
kids.
thought about this, yeah, no kids, and you're in there all that time. And then we started to think about this concept of beauty.
Mm.
That's where this idea came from. When we think about who we are as women, especially in regards to this recognition of women this week, of recognizing the
Mhm.
importance of the role of the woman and
Right.
what it means to be beautiful. All of us, beauty. What
Mhm.
is this thing about beauty? And so this concept that we have of the beauty shop, I know we used to have to do. I'm reminded. I was telling Monica yesterday about India Ari's I'm Not My Hair, the Jerry
Right.
curl, the press and
Yeah.
Right.
curl, and the weaves, the sew-ins, all of that, the braids, the locks, and all of those things. Yet I am much more than that, because there was a line in her a verse and in that song that had to do started talking about chemotherapy and things like that. What happened when the hair is gone? Does my
Right.
beauty fade? Okay, so we connected our everything to the beauty of the hair. So where is it? Can we regain this concept of where can we go to regain this beauty, to see ourselves again as beauty? And it dawned on me, it's the throne room.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That's
True
powerful.
beauty to be found in the throne room. So isn't it fitting that beauty shop would become connected with the throne room as
Mhm.
we lay ourselves in his presence at his feet, to allow him to do the work, all the cosmetic
Yeah.
work, not just our hair and skin and our nails, that he be able to take over, he
Yeah.
be the beautifier. Isn't that something?
Yes,
That's why
ma'am.
I connected with it.
Yeah. And a shout out to our listeners, Francine, Terrell, Nancy, Ned. Thank you for popping in and sharing and inviting others. We just want to say thank you. We're seeing your comments. Yeah, I know it did become competitive, and that's some of the things that we're talking
Yeah.
about now. But Pastor Marjorie, we're right now talking about something that's really important. What did beauty shop mean for you? Why was this concept important for you?
Well, for me, it's like we always be referring back to, when we was young and what we went through. At the time when I was younger, like mother was saying, I looked at a beauty shop, going to the beauty shop to get my hair done, but all the in that it was a place of safety, a place of wisdom, you know. And now, I'm talking about the natural beauty shop. You go, you shame, you ridicule, you
Yeah,
talk about you know, you sometimes we used to do they used to do our hair with people there, but now people don't want nobody there but them to do
right.
their hair because
Yeah,
they're ashamed. The people that's there is gonna talk against them. So
Right.
the whole, like you say, the whole concept of beauty shop has changed. I know it's dealing with we talk about the outer, but like mother was saying, we got to get to a place when we know God, to come into that place to find out who we are and who
yeah,
he is, and then find our identity. Because I
yeah.
think,
Mm.
I would say for me, my identity was in how I look, how I dress, how my
Mhm.
hair should be done. So, us as women, we got that on point. People see that on point, they figure you are on point. But I
Mhm.
Right.
found that that's not so,
Yeah.
So
Isn't that a good
that's
point?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So there's a Monique, there's a lot of dynamics still in the beauty shop. We could
Yeah.
talk about, what we went through, what we did, how we looked at beauty shop. Some of us was privileged, some of us wasn't. Some of us, like my mom, it was 7 girls. She had to
Mm,
sacrifice. She didn't have a husband. So can you
Mhm.
imagine her sending 7 girls to get their hair done for Easter? Like Mother said, it probably didn't last but a week, but that's something she did out of herself. I guess
yeah.
to let us see who we are, even though
Right.
it was an outside, she was fixing up, but it made us feel good as who we were as young girls growing up. So, I can say a lot, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's so good because that goes back to what I was saying earlier about feeling like the prodigal daughter. Like that
yeah,
was the moment where my
yeah,
mama took me to make sure that I was
right,
able to see myself outside
yes,
of the conditions that I may have been in. And
right.
so as I move on, we want to just shout out to Mother in June Bay coming all the way from Maryland. Thank you for joining us, Mama in June Bay. We appreciate your presence. If you want to acknowledge or say anything about what the experience of the beauty shop meant to you, please drop them in the comments. We want to see them. We want to give you a shout out. And as I answer this question for myself about why beauty shop was important, I'm going to say it's a conglomeration of what you, Mom, have said and what you, my spiritual mother, have said, right? And I'm going
Uh-huh.
to add the complexity to the fact that it was a space that I believe needed to be had because we need people to be
Right,
able to say, I where do I go to see myself, my true self?
right,
And how can I as an elder, and I look at you both as elders, not just because of age, but because of
right.
wisdom and insight and your spiritual maturity. Where do I go to be able to connect with women who can help me learn the way? Right, because we hear and we get to see all kinds of things. I don't know if y'all might not look at social media like I do, but
Yes,
I don't participate in the ways that a lot of people do, but I am, open to seeing a whole lot of stuff. And today it's a whole lot
yes.
of stuff.
Uh,
And everybody think they cute and they think they fine and they
right.
walking around showing their booty, they snapping
Come
pictures and
on
they
now.
putting themselves out there and they think that that's beautiful, but it speaks to a lot about where they are in their minds and in their spirits and in
Yes,
their hearts. And so
yes.
I wanted this space so that we could come together because I think about them as I thought about myself. The privilege that I say I had was that God saw fit for me to learn at a younger age. I experienced life, a whole lot of it, in a
Mhm.
short amount of time. And I continue to experience life, but I got to mature in a different
Yes.
space, right?
Mhm.
And so for me, this is important as we continue this process of spiritual maturity. I think that the young women have things that we can give to our elders,
Ab-
and that the elders most definitely have wisdom that can be poured into us. And so that is why beauty shop is so important for me, and why this was something that was laid upon my heart for us to go and really do the work in.
mhm.
I
I'm gonna
just,
say this. Go ahead, Mom.
yeah, I'm
I was
sorry,
gonna
Mother.
ask the next question. No, I was just gonna
I
ask the
just,
next question.
you know what I connected to? And you and both, Pastor Marjorie said this, and it's still ringing to me that the beauty shop was the place that you went to when you were a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. Come on
Mm-hmm.
now.
A mess. You didn't go there with everything done.
Thing
And I
together.
would see
Right.
sometimes when people go, we put your makeup, everything on. You already knew your head was a mess. It needed to be
Yeah.
washed and
Yes.
conditioned. And it took some time there. That's why
Yeah.
we could spend
Yeah.
hours. That's why you didn't want to wait because you know already it was going to take a certain amount of time to be able to work through that mess that had
Mhm.
developed and accumulated through time to get
Yeah.
yourself to this place where you
Mhm.
would be accepting of yourself. And nobody else had to tell you. Sometimes people say, you need to go get your hair done. You're a
Yes.
hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
but we already knew it. We
Right.
already knew it. And as a gift to us, sometimes our mother would say, I'm going to take you here. I'm going to take you here because, like you were saying, Monica, I need you to see yourself in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
need
Lord.
you to see what you
Thank
may
you.
not see. And so
Yeah.
there can be a transformation. It makes me think about, they
Mm.
don't do a lot anymore. Remember the makeovers?
Yep. I
There used
remember
to be a
those.
lot of shows that had the makeovers, and you see the woman
Yes.
come on and she's dressed a certain. Most of the time, it was women. She's dressed a
Yes.
certain way, hair's a mess, and she just didn't. It looked like she just didn't care. Face all frumpy, and all of a sudden, one of the first things they did was to do her hair.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Scripture talks to us about the importance of the
The
crown. Because remember,
crown.
the
Yeah.
crown, the original crown was
Come.
not a physical thing. I mean,
Yes.
the thing that you picked up, it was something that you already, it's like the lion's
You
mane, his
wore.
crown.
It is
My
what it
God.
Like,
is.
get your crown, get it together,
Yes.
girl.
Woo.
Yeah. Shout out to my baby who is watching saying, hey, all three of my mommies. So shout out to Oni. Thank you.
Only.
Hello, Oni.
We love you. We can't wait for you to join us in here because your story is magnificent. Oni the Great. We're going to give her own debut, okay? Um,
Amen.
But as we continue in this conversation, I want to ask, we're talking about this hot messness, right?
Mhm.
What are some of the barriers that we have seen, or I'll say in particular, you have seen as you've worked with young women and girls, right? And older women too. I'll add it in there because women, all women of all ages got messed with them, right? So
Mhm.
I will say, especially those who are in the church. Um, what do they struggle? What are some of those things that you've seen that they've been struggling with in their lives? And what are some of those commonalities or issues that you've noted that says we need to come to the beauty shop and have real, candid, transparent, open, raw, and gritty conversations?
I mean, I'm going to leave this to put to you, Pastor Margie, but I think there are two questions in that. There's two
Okay.
parts.
Hmm.
Because there's the barrier of what prevents us from being able to connect the way that we want.
Mm,
And then
Mhm.
there's the struggles.
mm,
Um, they can be the same, but the thing that keeps us from them may not be something that they're even aware of. Their
Mhm.
struggles they might be able to tell you about. But that barrier, what
right.
that's why when they go to the beauty shop, you say, what do you think I need? And they do an assessment of your hair,
Right. Right.
whether
Right.
it's
Mm,
damaged or not. You need a conditioner. This is breakage and this, and they start to try to give you things to recommendations on how to get it back to a healthy state. But this
Mhm.
barriers thing piece, the thing that keeps us from being able to connect as women to do the work to even intervene out of love, what is that
Mhm.
thing that we come with, those barriers that come that keep us from connecting?
Well,
mm,
I can say a lack of trust, hurt,
mhm,
rejection, all of that, and much more. I think that, as you were saying, look, a lot of women deal with that. So, like you said, that causes them to put up those barriers.
Mhm.
I if I can talk about me, but I can talk about anybody. But one of
mm,
my struggles or hard thing was, when we talk about the beauty shop, where I felt like I wasn't good enough, even
mm,
though I was in the church. You know what
right.
I mean? But
Mhm.
um, I think a lot of women, us as women, deal with that. You know, and I'm learning in ministry that when you don't believe in yourself, it comes with other things connected to it. So
Mm,
you don't love yourself. Then you got rejection tied to you. Then you got this tied to you. So you got all these different things tied
the
to
weight.
you that's weighing you down. So I can say that what happened to me. I was in church. I didn't have no one like say you're beautiful, because when I thought of beauty, you ever we think of this right
Mhm.
here.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
if you ain't got this, if you ain't light skin, half of the time, what if you're black, you're too dark, you ain't pretty
Mm,
enough, your lips too big. Your
Mhm.
head, something was wrong. So when you done heard people said that and you go in the mirror to look at yourself, you think about what they said. So in your mind, you
Mhm.
grasp, I'm not good enough.
Mm,
I'm not pretty
yeah.
enough. I'm too dark. I'm too black. And I think a lot of women, well, in the church, I know it, a lot of women in church just deal with low self-esteem and
Mm,
who
That's a
they
I
are. They
agree.
really don't know who they are. And I was in that place one time. I was. I was in
yeah.
that place. But as I lived and learned, I was nurtured around older women through the word and stuff. Um, I gained to love who I am. And God made one Marjorie.
Was it a quick process, Pastor Marjorie?
Oh no, ma'am. Oh no. It's days I cried, it's days I believed one day, then I doubted the next day. Yeah,
Mm,
you said this, but why they said this? God, you said it, but it didn't come. It was a process,
Yes.
and I'm gonna
Yes.
it was
yes.
hard.
Ongoing.
Yeah,
Ongoing. It hasn't
yeah.
stopped. It hasn't
No,
stopped. Do you know
no,
Yeah.
too? There's that competition though, Pastor Marjorie.
right,
Mm,
It's why do we as women automatically see another woman and we start to compare and then we start to compete?
mm,
And then we want to tear, and this is real. We say it's about self-esteem, but we start talking and tearing who she thinks she is. Oh, she just came over here.
right.
We don't know
mm.
nothing about her. She must think she all that. She look, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We
Lord,
yeah.
they don't even
You
know
didn't
nothing
know,
about you. You don't even trying to do nothing. You just,
trying to
right?
go to church.
A
I
little
just love her.
girl.
jeez,
I
man.
thought I was in church. They're cutting their eyes around the corner and looking at you and looking over the shoulder and watching you and what you. Oh, is it my dress or was it the wrong dress? Because this group don't dress like this, and
Right.
so you're right. It's not. Is this a
You're
safe
right.
place to be in? I'm afraid. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I hurt somebody's feelings? Should
Mm-hmm.
I go over there and say something? How are they going to perceive? Is that, like you were saying, I don't feel safe here. Isn't it sad? Because
Yeah.
we're in church, we're all
Yeah.
women, and instead of us being able to feel like we're being embraced in this place, because you know why I'm here, why I came to this place, because I
Right.
had a need, there has something that needed to be worked on. There's a mess that's coming with me, and instead
Right.
of me being able to accept what is being offered, supposed to be offered, I'm feeling like I really shouldn't be. I can't be myself here. So what happens is a facade goes up.
Again, another, yeah,
Right.
identity
When I grab
Oh,
crisis.
my Bible, I try to put on a hat like you put on and wear your shoes
what?
like you
Oh,
wore your
wow.
shoes. This is how this group is looking. And so I'm gonna come with all the accoutrements that make me look like I fit in. And so my issues don't get dealt with
Or
because
you get
I feel
condemnation for showing up as who you are because they're offended or they feel slighted because they can't take who you are, the presence of the glory
you're
that
too
God has
much.
given you as woman, right?
Right.
So I think even for what all of what you both have said, I think about this from a perspective of the church is the emergency room. It's the hospital. It is where we all are sick. And yes, we're coming with our hot mess, but we're so busy trying to put the band-aids on and trying to do all of the cover-ups that
Pretend
nobody
we're
really,
not a mess.
yeah,
Let's
nobody
just
really
start
gets a
picking up
chance
the
to
stuff.
heal. Yeah,
Right.
so for me, Beauty Shop is the healing space that I really think that as I deal with women all across the world and as I deal with myself,
Right.
it's about my healing journey. It's
Yes.
about how I am going to begin to challenge myself to show up in the world, but most importantly, how I'm going to challenge myself to show up for me and
Yeah.
who God created me to be for the blessings
Mm-hmm.
and for the development of my daughter and my
Right.
sons and those whom God have called me to. That's why it's important for us to be able to have these conversations. It's important for us to really begin to talk about things. And it's not like people aren't talking about things. I just want to
Right,
put it out there. There are people who are trying to do the work. But
right,
I think that there's a deeper need for us to really identify who are we.
right. I think women, well, we as women, we are guarded anyway.
Yes.
So in a sense, a place or a space need to be developed where they can feel safe. If I say
Mm,
whatever, you're not gonna judge me. You know, I think when we get to that, I know, God, we're gonna get to it because that's what we're doing now. When we get to that point, I believe women will release themselves because a lot of
mm,
time we'll try to get ourselves together, but yet and still we got stuff going on the inside, but we're afraid to say it because we're gonna be judged, or we're gonna be
yeah.
looked at, or we're gonna be so. What we do, I say in the church, what we do, we not saying the word don't work, but we'll take the word in like a band-aid and put over it.
Mm,
And
Yes.
say,
yeah.
damn, yeah. And so the people just see, they never see the scar. They just see
Yes.
me, but they don't know what's
Mhm.
hiding behind the scar. So I think a lot of people deal with that. I was talking to somebody else that I told them, I say, I know we preach and we give, the word, but I say, God said, testify that others may overcome. So what he
Mm,
want us to do, he want us to tell the challenges and stuff we went through. So when people look at us, they won't think, oh, Miss Monica got the gun. She thinks she all that. But see, they
right.
don't know what you went through because a lot of
Going
times we
through.
don't share that.
Going through
We
in the present
Going
moment.
through.
we don't share
Yeah.
that.
So
They
you
look at
see,
the polished kind, like the polished product. They don't know the crying. They don't know the nights you struggle and that. But when they see and hear you say that, they'll be like, "Oh my God, Miss Monica went through that. She don't even
Yeah.
look like she went through that. God brought her from that." Then they'll start thinking, "Oh, God can do it for me too." They need for us to
Mm,
be transparent and real and let them know I have struggles too.
right.
yes.
I have faults too. I have,
Yes.
concerns come up in my life on a daily basis, every day too. But
Right.
because of, you like to say, just because we come to the throne room, we get the knowledge of who he is, then you'll start seeing things start shifting in your life. You'll see things start moving in your life. So
Yeah.
for me, it's a moment of transparency. I believe when women can feel like they can be transparent and free, and just be who they are and what they went through, and now they go through that healing process now,
Yeah.
becoming who God wants them to be. But
Instead
yeah,
of hiding, instead of spending our time hiding behind the cosmetic,
Mm,
I for myself, I'm like, I don't like a lot of makeup and cosmetics and stuff like that. But I have to confess, there are many times I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with
mm,
how I look, and I say my nose, my hair, my this, and oh my God, look what's going on with this, my weight. I'm not
all yeah,
happy with any of that. And I can have people come to me and say, "Oh, you this, you that, and the
yes,
other," and
I
I'll
don't believe
question
it.
it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe it.
absolutely,
I don't believe them. I think they're just trying to make me feel good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
and why are
Just
they
saying
lying
stuff
to
to just to
me?
say
Say
stuff.
so, right,
Yeah. And so we don't believe it because when I look in the mirror, Pastor Marjorie, you said it before, because of all the stuff that I have heard and all the stuff that and it's not just what we heard, it's because
yeah,
what we're going through, we know stuff about us that they don't.
that
Mm,
And
part,
so because we know this about us, then we feel a certain way about who we are. And we're thinking, maybe they really see me. Are they going to, if they keep looking, they're going to see
mm,
I'm a fraud.
mm.
I'm not who they thought I was. And I'm trying to hold up this facade and trying to be this. And sometimes I just say, we just to have to let it go and say, I need to spend more time. I need to really
Yeah.
work on this thing and work on my mindset, recognizing that this thing that I think is beauty may not be true beauty. and try to
Yeah.
figure out why I feel the need to hold on to these things that I hold on to, because now they become a part of my mask.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. That's it's deep what you just said. I kind of want to sit with it for a second because I think that we do that. We do it all, oftentimes we think that we're supposed to present ourselves in a certain way to the world, and that if this world sees us in our rawness, that we are less than good and perfect upon which God has created us. And I
Right.
think that that is one of the issues with the church community is that we put up a facade that the church is a perfected space and it
No,
has yet to get
it's a
there.
learning
And
institution.
yes, yes. Come on, Pastor Marjorie, talk about that learning institution. Come on, you said that. That's a
Yeah.
good word.
Yeah, no. For me, I learned that the church is a a learning place, and when we learn, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna just like we're
Yes.
gonna fail tests, but we're gonna have to try, and try again. A lot of times we walk in church and we like, bam, we want magic.
Yes.
Sometimes people look at
Mm,
the church being magic.
it's
How the musician hocus pocus, bam, it's done.
Right.
But the church
Say a
it's
couple
not like
prayers,
that.
lay a hand on me.
Yeah, it's not
that's
mystical.
right.
They want us to be mystical, oh Lord, with the music and the smoke
Yeah.
come out like a rabbit come out the hat. No, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey, and I say over and over again, like I'm still going through the process. But when I found out who I was. And I know there's more, there's levels and levels and levels. God is gonna
Mhm.
show me who I am. But when I came to that surface of who God looked at me to be, I think I came in a place where I'm not gonna lie to you. The enemy will try to come when somebody say something to try to make me feel some
Push
kind of way.
back.
I'm not gonna, but when
Mm-hmm.
God really let me know who I was, like the surface of it, it's like
Free.
ain't no turning back. I'm like,
Free.
Mm-hmm.
There was some
it's like,
liberation that
She
came
said,
with
y'all
that.
yeah,
gonna get Marjorie today.
yeah,
I don't care
yeah.
who you think you
Like,
getting. Y'all getting Marjorie
yeah,
today.
yeah,
I remember that.
right,
I said, there it is. That's
right,
it. That's my
right.
pastor.
I be like, no. I say, I use like, 10 minutes stuff. I heard one in the Bible say, this is your speaking up season. Like you
Mm,
got to start speaking up for yourself and what God
yeah.
called you to do and who God called you to be. So even in that, even when I like found out who God really was in my life, like, hey, girl, God fearfully and wonderfully made you. People used to say that, but it didn't resonate in me because I
Mm,
had all the scars. I didn't see the other thing. But when I kept going and kept falling in church and kept learning, I found out that God, He loved me. I was predestined from the
Mhm.
foundation. I be doing like that at home. My kid be like, and I just sit there
Right.
and cry over and over again. Even though
mm,
I went through that and I'm still going through, I know that there's a reason I'm here. I'm not just a anything or anybody. You know what I mean?
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people they made me. You say the devil meant it for bad. And
But
I can say
I
that
You meant
meant
it
every
for
it for
woman,
good.
good.
the devil meant it for bad to bring us down until we look good enough and we still fight with the enemy, still fight. But when we get to the knowledge that the devil meant it for bad because he's seen so much power in you. So
Mm,
he's going to break us down in some type of way, not walk in the liberation what God has given us.
mm,
So when I came to who I was, it's like God just started bringing people in my life. I don't know.
That's right.
mm.
I hold up
And you
very
became beautiful
yeah
again.
with that
Even you
part.
but you
You recognize.
recognize
Yes,
your
yes,
beauty. That's the
absolutely.
difference.
But you know
That's
what?
go,
But
go
you know
ahead,
what?
brother.
There's a thing. You know what it made me think about? It made me think about our sisters,
Uh-huh.
in the times where you may be, because we feel tied to relationships,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
not just
Mm-hmm.
a friendship, our girlfriends, but we just desire to be in a intimate relationship, a male with a male, and because of that. we put so much stake and value in their perception and how they see us and how they view us.
I'm
And
gonna
we're
Yes.
add to
so
that
busy.
into these times. Hold on, mommy. I'm just gonna add here in these times, even our relationship with other women, because there are relationships whereby women to women are
Yes.
trying to get approval from the other woman within the
Yes.
Yes.
relationship because of whatever dynamic the relationship may be. But
And
go
Yes.
those are
on
the
ahead.
Right.
those are the places where we're constantly being we put so much stake in what they
Hmm.
say and what they
On
think
who we
and how
are.
they are
Yeah.
going to perceive and receive us, that
Uh,
we devalue ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
The beauty that we have gets hidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets hidden
Mm.
behind that because we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even being, that's why I talk
Yeah.
about this because we're not even showing up as ourselves because we've hidden it because we've been beat up so bad. We don't even have the energy to even want to deal with the physical outward beauty. I mean,
Right.
we see some people, they just let themselves go. I've known of women
Mm.
who've been in situations like that. And it's like, as a young girl, I knew of someone. And as I got older and I encountered them again, I couldn't believe it was the same woman. I couldn't believe it was the same woman because the way she showed up when she was in that relationship and her
Yeah.
children were my age, she had disconnected, and now she had began to come into herself, to have her voice, that she could speak up and trust
Hmm.
that her voice was okay. When
Yes.
I say her
Yes.
voice, her thoughts were okay.
Uh,
She's not what the negative. You're nothing. You're never gonna be nothing. I'm who you.
right.
I made you.
Right.
See, we get
Right.
caught up as women in those kind of situations, and then when we are, that kills our whole thought processes. We can't make decisions. We can't function. Can't show up in our families with our children the way we're supposed to be because we have been beat up not just by the world,
Right.
but in
Right.
our relationships. Our sisters
Right.
turned their back on us. We
Right.
thought they was going to be there
Right.
for us, but then we so busy competing with each other, and so then we're so down, cast down because of how we've been beat down and these conflicting messages, trying to be everything to everybody at once, till we end up not even knowing who, like
Who
you were
we
all
are.
saying, who we are, what it
Right.
looks like, the beauty. We don't no longer see the beauty in us, and we connect our beauty to the pleasure that we provide to somebody else.
Mhm.
Mm. I think about what you just said, mommy, and I think about the fact that, yes, we've been conditioned as women. As I come off of International Women's Day, and I think about this month and everyone doing all these things to honor women, I think about the fact that we are inundated with traumas. And so, as we have read Body Keeps the Score, right?
Mhm.
Thinking about um, how our trauma and traumatic experiences continue to hold us captive. I believe that the beauty shop is really where we can begin to have those conversations about how to retrain our way of thinking and
Yes.
seeing and being so that we can understand that there's no deformity to who we are.
Right.
And even in our mess, God
Mm-hmm.
is,
It's still
because
beauty.
we've been made in the image of, God still will allow that thing, as you said, Pastor Marjorie, what the devil meant for evil, God means it for good. God will utilize
Give
you
you
in your
beauty
Yes.
for ashes.
messiness. Yes, to transform you. That, you know, that's my book, to transform you in front of others so people can see the transformation
Ancient.
process of
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I made you beautiful
Yeah.
already.
Right. Right.
What you are going through is just because because we are not used to seeing ourselves or seeing others in a certain light. We think that the scrapes and the marks and all, I'm thinking about the pottery, right, on the
Yeah.
potter
Right.
wheel,
Yeah.
and we're thinking that, oh, look at why he's doing all these
Yeah.
scratches and marks and all these
Mark it
ugly
down.
little movements
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on this piece of clay, and then he's gonna throw it together, and then we get into the fire. And as we're put into the fire, we're expecting that the thing is going to get burnt up, or it's going to become like, oh, what is that? It's going to be all misaligned and ugly. But when it comes out and you put the gloss on it, it shimmers and it's this beautiful pot to be put on display. And I think that that's what we have to recognize, that as God is continuing to work through us as individuals and collectively as community, that we all have a part to play in us seeing each other's beauty, and that we have the ability to recondition our mindsets to think and see ourselves to a different space and to a different place and to a different way of being. So, as my sister, my mama, she's my sister, right? As my
The mama.
sister and my, right, and my spiritual mama, she's my sister though in
Right,
Christ, that
right,
as they come together to give of their ugly experiences, we are made beautiful together.
right.
And that is important.
Mhm.
That's important to me in this
Yeah,
process.
absolutely. When you said that, I thought about, y'all got to help you. When the man
Mm.
was sick and he wanted to get a healing, but the room was too filled up.
Yeah.
So his
Yeah.
Mm.
friend got
Yes.
now imagine this. Your
Yes.
friends taking you up to the
To
top
the
of the
top of the
roof
room.
That's
because they
exactly
see the
right.
condition you in, and they
Right.
just
Mm.
want to be a help.
Oh, I
Right.
felt that
Right. Go
all in
ahead.
that. Yes, I felt all of that, Pastor Marjorie.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn,
Yes.
I know the
That's the
man
place.
wanted healing. I did, but I was thinking about the friends he had,
Right.
Yes.
The
and
friend.
how
The
committed they
support.
were to
To
take
him.
this man. Can you imagine? They
Yeah.
probably had to go up the ladder, hand it to him. You get this and I'll get
Hmm.
this to him.
The
Then they had
dead
to
weight they
tear
carry.
all the stuff
Yeah.
off the roof and then let him down. Those some good friends.
They
That's a
wasn't
good
fearing
friend.
nothing. They was the ones that you call when you getting ready to go in a fight and be like, "Listen, Shaniqua
That
now,
part.
I
we
need
we got
you.
to go on a block. We gonna go out, right?" That's the
That's
ones you
what we
call.
need. We need people
Yes.
because when they say, "Oh, my friend jacked up," like we go to each other like, "My sister need me. My sister
Hmm.
need me." It's not a
Yeah.
time for me to ridicule down her. She need me to step in.
Right.
She need me to be a friend for her. She needs a
Yes.
shoulder to
Go
lean
ahead.
on. When they said about that, I thought my mind just like a picture came when I seen the men taking this man up to the rooftop. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God, I say, we still got women and people like that, God. This
Yes.
beauty shop is going to cause them to come out the woodworks and start doing what
Yes.
God has called them to do.
Mm.
Because I'm like, that was amazing. God was giving
Yes.
us an example of what we should be to one another. I
Yes.
needed you. I never met your mother, Mark. I never met your mother, but when I met her, it's like some automatic, just I
Yeah.
can't explain it. It's that kindred
Amen.
spirit. I feel safe with
Mm.
her. I feel
Yeah.
like I can talk to her. And it was time when I like, she don't want nothing. We always thinking about because
Yeah.
of our trauma. We always think about what she wants, what she needs.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
when she wants something,
Yeah.
we going on
That's
like
what
the
we. Yeah.
gospel.
That's the barrier.
She
Yeah, God
messy.
will put people in your life just for you. They don't
You
want
gotta trust
nothing.
him.
They don't want nothing. All
Yes.
he'll do is put them in your life to help you move to the next step. But
Yeah.
that's a time where you got to
Yes.
just trust him and
Yes.
trust the
Yeah.
relationship that God bring in your life. I
Yes.
just say we
That's the
got to have
key.
spiritual eyes. Go ahead, mother.
You're, Pastor Marjorie, you are so
You hit
right.
it.
That's what I was thinking about too. I was thinking about how our perception of things, how
Yes.
we view church, and how we view each other, because we are individuals in church,
Oh
and
yeah.
how
I
instead of
learned that.
looking at,
Yeah.
we see it as something foreign and apart, this relationship, and what we can't get to our identity because we see it as the post. We could put the post out there every day on Instagram and on Facebook.
Hmm.
We say those
Right.
nice little scriptural sayings, and we talk about praying. We talk about it, but then we leave those spaces and those sayings, and we come back in the same shape because we see it as apart from us. We're not trusting that this God and this saying, this scripture that we're quoting and that we're putting it out there is for us.
Just for us.
To
It
aid
Mm-hmm.
is.
us in this process, that we be able to move from the place of the individual and be able to connect to our sisters, the very people sometimes that, like you said, that we're a little leery of because
Yeah.
we put them in categories. And so
Yeah.
we stay away from that sister who may really love us and will be there for us because we think that she's looking at us in a certain way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Because
we
we get in
think
that
that she
tunnel.
don't, like you said, that she wants something. She really, like we said before, she's not real. What's wrong with her? They don't really mean it. It's because
Right.
of that concept of this religiosity that
Right.
we
Right.
and
Right.
what we the labels that we put on
Put
things
on her.
and
Yes.
people.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen so much hypocrisy,
Yes.
um, and I have to. I confess. I
Come on.
confess that I have an issue with church.
Take the cover off. That's what we call it here in the
I
throne
confess.
room.
I confess. I have an issue with everybody walking around with all the
Mm-hmm.
accoutrements,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't even speak to
I'm
you.
minister, pastor, this and all of that, and I got this, and
Everybody
I'm
got a post and people and can I go even got a ministry?
uh-huh.
And I'm looking at my sisters cross-eyed. Pastor Marjorie said we needed some friends like that who saw that we was in need to connect with us. And instead of us recognizing that we're all vessels and coming together to help
Right.
each other, we begin to compete with each other and to knock each other
Absolutely.
off the box because I want my thing gonna be bigger than your thing. And it's
Mm,
not about your thing and my thing. It's about
God's
God's
name.
people.
Right.
It's about
Yeah.
God's people. It's about the message that God wants us to take to his people, how he wants to use us to further his purpose. And then we've got our own purpose and we're praising God. So we say we're praising God, what God we're praising. And I'm not trying to
We're
do this as
manipulating.
think, you know what I'm saying? And so we got these idols, we're idolizing these positions. And I guess this
We're
is like
idolizing the beauty that we think is within inside of these rankings, positions, and spaces.
and saying that I got this thing and I got my 501c, you got yours and I got mine. And we're
Yeah.
missing,
That working.
we're
Yeah.
not doing the real work. We're ministering
Right.
to each other.
Right.
We got our own little group and we keep going around in our circles, ministering
Right.
to each other. And the people who really need it, we really need it. But we want
Right.
to appear, we want to appear like it's okay.
Right.
But there's a whole group of people who don't even have a little inkling of what we
And
have.
and
And
I'll
if
add
we
to this.
surrender, go
I
ahead,
want to
Marjorie.
just add to that small portion of what you just said, Mom, that the people who really recognize what it's all about really don't want it because it's a burden. It's a
Yes,
burden that we carry, and it becomes such a heavy weight that it's like, I don't know if I'm qualified to do this
yes,
thing
Oh,
because I'm
absolutely.
imperfect in my
Right.
position. And
Right.
so, God, you have to show me, and I have to be willing to do that T word that you said, Pastor Margie, trust that what God is bringing me to is actually the space that I'm supposed to be in because, in fact, I don't really want it because it doesn't look pretty to me.
We
I want the thing, I want to be over here. I
right.
want to disconnect from this, but I
Right.
keep being pulled back to this
like
space and it's
Jeremiah.
heavy.
I can't. I don't
Yeah.
want it. They call it. We're crying. Please don't. Do go to somebody else. Let somebody else deal with this thing. It's not a burden but I'm burdened with it. I'm burdened with it, and
Mm,
I can't say no. I keep
Right.
going even though I don't want to. I'm leery. I'm not trusting. I feel that I fall short, but I continue on because I feel and hear the voice and the pulling, God pulling me to him, pulling me because I've been predestined for this thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that he doesn't want me to stay in this situation that I'm in, that a part of me serving you is really getting me to my healing,
Mm-hmm.
getting me to the end where I need to be. I thought it was about you, Pastor Margie, but it was really about me.
Hmm. I
Ah,
see that
yes,
pin going. Pastor Margie got that pin going over there. Go ahead. She gonna write that book. I'm ready. I'm
yeah.
ready.
We,
I
uh,
I'm
Go ahead.
Pastor Marjorie, did you want to say something? We're getting ready to
Yeah.
wrap up, and so the
Okay.
ending of what we're gonna do right now is I just
Okay.
want y'all to end out with whatever it
Okay.
is that you want the people to hear, because we can go on
Pastor
and on and
Marjorie.
on about this. Okay, it's on our spirits, it's on our hearts, and we're ready. We're on fire for this thing, and so I just
Okay.
want you
I'll be
guys
ready
to
next
let
time.
the people know. Let them know what's on your heart, Pastor Marjorie.
Well, I want to say that I just want to do a quick clause on when you was talking about how we have to get back to trusting and depending on one another in the church. I thought about the world. The world is taking the principles from the church and
Oh
using it.
yeah.
I looked at the young lady who son killed herself, killed herself. I don't know.
Mm,
You know,
Mhm.
I looked on Instagram, Facebook. Those people reached out to that girl. They called her. We praying for you. They son her. They was there because they know she had a need,
Yeah.
and they was there for her. So what I'm saying, the church need to turn around and take those same principles and know that we're in the time we're living in now is rough. This COVID, I'm gonna just be real. This has been a rough time. People have lost one another, their family members, and we love God, but I miss them. My sister died. I
Yes.
miss my sister. Yeah, my God,
mm,
I miss them. I'm still grieving. I need somebody to come and say, Pastor Marjorie, or Mar, you don't even got. I'm praying for you. I
mm.
see.
Yes.
I see
That's
you.
what we need. That's what we got to
Yes.
get back to. That God can reveal the beauty in all of us. It start with helping one another. When we help ourselves, we reach out and
Yes.
Mm,
help someone else. Like you
Yes.
said, it ain't about me.
mhm.
Go ahead. I'll be ready next time.
You
You ready?
already
You was
ready.
ready. You was ready. You ready.
Yeah,
You're ready.
yeah.
You're
But
You
ready.
pushing
God
this
is
thing
good.
out.
I just
God
want
is
to
good.
say this real quick and short, that this is a place where this time is set aside not for us to bring our agenda, but if there's something
Right.
that's on the
Yes.
heart of people that they
Yes.
feel that needs to be dealt with, if there's any way that we can assist in bringing about, because God talked about bringing beauty from
Yes.
ashes. And we know there's
Mm,
ashes. A lot of us are in the ashes and got these ashes
Oh, I
are
got that
feeling
wrote down.
absorbed by it. That we are going to get to that place because we overcome by the blood of the lamb, and the
None of
words
the
of their testimonies, so
testimony.
that we can
Yes,
be here
ma'am.
mm.
for one another. And
Yes.
that's what we are
That's
trying
what
to
we're here
establish
for.
this time.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I think about the beauty shop. People came to the beauty shop and created lifelong, lasting friendships and never even
Yes.
knew each
Yes.
other.
Yes.
It became a space whereby people just came and they presented themselves in their rawness. So everybody got to see everybody ugly for who they were,
That's
and
right.
That's
then they
right.
left out beautiful, and it was all good.
Amen.
And guess what, when we went in the street in the event, my wig lifted up and my lace front was showing, my same sister was gonna have the glue for me. But hold on, and we was gonna go and we
Yes,
gonna take care
ma'am.
of it together.
Yes, ma'am.
I want this to be one of those spaces
Yes.
whereby we are looking out for each other,
Brother.
mind,
That's
body,
beautiful.
and soul. It is not about the judgment. We are going to be here in our raw and our ugliness, because it ain't always been pretty. We have pretty moments. And as Pastor Marjorie said, sometimes we got to see ourselves there, because we don't
Yeah.
always believe it, even
Right.
when people tell us about it. I want us to know that we are creating this safe space. And
Yes.
as I
Yes.
said
Yes.
earlier, for us to purge from our issues, heal from our wounds, and find the rest that we need so that we can transform to that which we've already been called to. We've
Yes.
all been called to be royalty. We all possess a ministry, and our ministries do not have to look like the four walls of a church. That our ministries are to I heard someone talking about missions this weekend, and they talked about it being in three different places, but there's a place before the outside world that we are
Oh, yeah.
called to. There's the ministry of our homes, and I learned that the hard
Yeah.
way, the
Yeah.
long way, right? I had to get it right in my mind about that. When I understood what it meant to be the minister within my home and the minister to myself, then I
Yes.
would be able to show up to the world in the way that God needed me to show up. And so I'm saying for you, all of the women and the men who are listening today, we want you to invite your family and your friends, your aunties, cousins, all of them. We want you to invite them back to the throne room. Not next week. Next week is barbershop conversations, but the following week, we want you to come back to Beauty Shop with your questions, all your ugliness and your rawness, your nappy peas and all. We want you to
Yeah,
come
that
with it.
kitchen, right?
We want you to come with it.
I'll be
And
with the
we want to
book.
hear from you. We want you to participate because this
Yes.
isn't just about us. The healing journey is for all of us. I guess the real question
And we
is,
don't have all
will
the
thou?
answers. It's just
That's right.
discussion.
The key though is, will thou be made whole? Your
Yeah.
wholeness is dependent upon you and
Yes. You have to
your
decide.
strength that you're going to press forward in spite of as woman to come to the beauty shop, knowing it's going to be a whole lot of people there, knowing that you got to get from the car to get into the beauty shop. That there might
Yes.
be some people who see you along the way,
And you're
but
supposed to
you
be a
got to be willing.
mess. You
That's
don't have that's
right.
the whole purpose of the beauty shop.
Right,
You
right.
want them to see you transforming all your
Yes.
goodness, okay?
Yay.
Show up, y'all, in 2 weeks. We appreciate all of our listeners and we thank you for continuing to support the ministries. Please look out for us. If you would love to connect with Pastor Marjorie has a beautiful ministry herself, Push to Inspire. Y'all go ahead and blow her up on the line. Tell her how much y'all loved hearing from her today. And again, Mommy, as always, I thank you for your continued support, your continued love for me and the ministry of God within this journey. We can't wait to see you guys all back here in the throne room next week. Barbershop Conversations, 5 p.m. with my brother and our friend Ned. And then the week after, right here for a beauty shop. Y'all have a great evening. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye bye.